about 5 minutes to do that. Who starts the solution to this? You want to try? Okay, I urge you, please use the mic.
All right, good evening, instructor. Good evening, colleagues. I noticed that we have a very few number of people in class today. Okay, so I was in the class when, I can't remember if I was in class when we concluded that the product KodeCamp is still in introduction phase. So for my own analysis and what I did for my PLC, I assume it was still in development stage, and that is because I noticed that we still have a couple of upgrades or additional features to be added to the website, and that was where I did more like a 5-stage approval life cycle. So I went a stage backward to start with development stage. That by the time we incorporate some of these features, then the products can now we can now achieve like an MVP prior to that. And since we already have cohort section, like we are a set of cohorts already, then they can test the website with these cohorts, so they can get feedbacks from them and use that as more like a way to upgrade the system, and that can serve as more like a development stage prior to introduction, which is the launch. So the launch now because we have new features now, and for now, KodeCamp is not making money. It's just more or less like how can I say this? So it's just more or less like a hub where tech enthusiasts like me, like the host of others, can just come and get tutored and acquire a skill. So when I looked at the vision and the mission of the company, part of the mission is also to be more like a hub where big enterprises in the world can come and poach people, like get talent. So in long run, it will still be more like a profit-making organization, either ways. So I started again by the introduction phase. Then we have to like use a couple of other marketing strategies. Since cohorts, since we have a number of people in this section, we can actually still use word of mouth and publicity to announce our KodeCamp. And yeah, so most of the features that can also be added could be over time. We can have a mobile app section, mobile app version of the product where people can just join on the go. And it can also be that we can also have most of these sections now, live sections now uploaded. Then I can access the material at my own convenient time. There will be some kind of assessment that will be marked, and upon passing each of the assessment, there will be more like a change of level, like a promotion. Then at the end of the day, certificates can be issued. So in long run, sometime along development phase, at the general phase, introduction of it may be that you may have to start asking people to pay some money, so they will not take it for granted. Like for example, now we probably have about 10 people in the class. Though if I pay for this and I know that I'm going to get value for what I pay for, I probably will want to take it serious and all that. So that's just the way I did my own, and I did not draw the PLC for KodeCamp, because at that point in time I could not decide if sales or user number will be what will be on the y axis. So I don't know if you've actually reviewed my own submission, but that is just what I did. Thank you.
Yes, I have. It was well detailed, but not drawing the map with deduced a 1 on you.
All right, thank you. So maybe in the course of the class, then I would have to ask you how to draw the map, because like I said, I wasn't really sure if I'm going to use sales or number of users as part of on my y-axis against time. That was why I didn't draw the chart. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Deji. Who else can give a try? Want to give a try? Deji, your hands are still raised up.
Oh, sorry, I'll drop it down now.
Okay, who want to give a try? Okay, let me ask this question. At the declination stage of reboot, killed, and the other one, what do you think KodeCamp can do at that point? Do you think when they meet their goal, they can just go offline? Or what is just your ideology? You've gone through the PLC and you created one. What could be your endpoint for KodeCamp at the PM? Or that could be too far. Okay, I'm coming at you, DJ. Here, DJ, let's fix your mic. Let's have you.
Okay, so it's actually very, very dicey. So, and again, it depends on the overall goal of the owner, of the visionary now. So for me, if at that point the market's already saturated, you had people coming with better ideas and all that, so the market is saturated, even at maturity stage. So for me, it would just be that I can collapse KodeCamp. If I have someone to come and bid for KodeCamp, maybe like a Microsoft or a Google, or coming to say, oh, I want to buy into you. I want to buy you over and establish more like a school where I know that I'll just train people and I will not have to pay them much. Like I will not have to pay, like, no, in this case now, from the vision of the founder, it's more like the site's supposed to be more like an outsourcing company. But when a bigger company come and say, okay, fine, I'm buying over, so I will not have to pay you extra to get your talent. Like, since it's my school, I can just move people through the ranks. The moment you can do what you do better, I can just say, okay, I'll give you a job. Then I won't have to pay you. They're more like a middleman cost. So it depends. But for me, at that particular point, it can be key because it will actually get to that point where you are not making more money again and all that. So if you have somebody that wants to come and buy it, you can just say, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Have you considered what Decacon is doing today? So Decacon is a dev of KodeCamp, and they've done almost 3 to 4 runs. So right now what they do is to push interns into companies. And over time, I see them becoming a consulting firm. In fact, they're already a consulting firm. I see more of their hats on my IG, like an HR consulting firm. So that's awesome. Thank you, Deji. Thank you very much. So let's move on to, so there's for everybody that feels they don't know what's on the track and you don't know how best to go about the assignment. Someone really, really interests me so well, which is Philomena. And thank you so much, Philomena. She has been of help since morning, trying to help us understand the most important thing. It's not just about theoretical, it's not about just theoretical gathering of words. It's more about showing numbers and trying to, so everything you've made, summarize it into data. Let's see the data, right? So that's why I said, please create that graph. I want to see your data. You had a lot of conversation. I don't want to read all those stories. I just want to see your data and probably just other time follow a school of where just explain in detail what it is. Even though you're doing a detailed explanation for your presentation or not presentation because of the future. So let me you have something to say. We need to round up on this.
Oh, okay. I wanted to answer your question, but if you want to go ahead, I can just keep it.
Go ahead, please. Can you hear me? Go ahead, please.
Okay, no problem. So thank you. For the decline phase, I feel like if CodeCamp is edging towards the decline phase, like after we've reviewed our data, because we'll obviously be monitoring our metrics and how product is and sales is going when we are in the maturity phase. So I feel like if we're getting to the decline phase, we can now start looking at like key stakeholders and the PMs can now sit down and make a like I don't know, have a conversation around trying to figure out how to make further innovation. Either we now decide to move to using a disruptive technology to helping us do better and get more customers, users, that kind of stuff, or we can now decide to maybe after trying to do further innovation and further innovation is not working, we can now go back to the board and discuss sales of the company. So I'm thinking that a good way to kind of like sort out the decline phase for CodeCamp is probably to partner with a another let me not say competitor, but another people in the field, in the ed tech field that can help CodeCamp grow and probably continue as a subsidiary of their own products. So that's what I think.
Nice idea. Thanks so much, Domina.
Yeah.
Thank you. So before we go into today's class, let's have a list of our slide. Let's run back into product validation. Let me share that screen. So let's run through product validation. Okay. Yes, product validation. So product validation is the process of testing an idea. From attention we had about assumption mapping, we understood how important assumption mapping, understanding the user pain point, aligning the customer needs, then help you with also collating the customer feedback. We had with the assumption with the assumptions. So having an assumption, then mapping the assumption, scoring the assumption. So I said, okay, why is it 8 instead of 10? What can we do more for the next 2% or 2, depending on how you decide to divide it, right? You know what's important? If those are less important are being answered secondarily by your primary concern. So at that point in time, done an assumption, you want to be sure these assumptions are valid. So you want to validate them to your customer. So this is a process whereby you test an idea with potential users to know if a product is viable. It helps to manage resources, not just time, money, and people. So why create a product before creating a product, you need to have a PM on board. You as a PM need to be on board. That's why when an innovator, a CEO, a product, be it of an existing product or a noble product, you need the PM on ground. Apart from every other, or you need the PM on ground. So the PM needs to check through the product validation, go through the product process to know that it is valid or feasible, payable, or can be desirable. And many mistakes people out there do is inviting the engineering team or because we're perceived. Then the next thing is just to create a app. Now, why the engineering team might be important, but it's not the first step to do why trying to create a product or building a product. The PM is meant to be there, go through this process so that if she or she can manage the resources. At the end of the process of assumption and validation, the PM will be able to tell the innovator that this product is not variable and it's not feasible. It's not variable. So once it's not variable, then it's not desirable. And once it's not desirable, it's not feasible. But not necessarily mean that the product is total trash. It also mean that the product can be adapted into something else. So I used an example of, let's use the example of auto check. Let's use the example of auto check where they had a major competitor in the market with GG. But at the same time, they had other competitors in the market who could become their strength. And also some competitors whose methodology can be adapted. So they had GG in the market, they had the dealers and client base all day. But the pain point on GG is that customers might end up traveling distance for a car that's not worth it because it was not inspected by the company. So there is no guarantee that what you are seeing online is what you get. Some people won't get to a point whereby because the dealer will tell you, come, whereas the car is sold. People will get to a point where the dealer will tell you, I've gone to look for a Benzer in 2015, saw it online, ask the dealer to get me. So you have the direct access to the dealer. So the dealer gets me the PIN number. He sent me the PIN number and he has changed one number in between. So by the time I was searching for the PIN number online, on open source online, so it was not coming up, right? And some major sites were saying they don't have an history of it. That's savage histories of it. I felt okay, let's see, let me get to the vehicle and see if it was otherwise. On getting there, just maybe on getting to the vehicle was under repair, under salvage repair. The front was off, and I felt like, guy, why do you do this? Like, why we have to come check a car that I want on the go, not a car that probably I would also I like it. No, what is this? So it was a whole lot of frustration, and I would have spent that resources going to Ogba or inside Ogba to go and look at a car that is hanged somewhere, or going to Ikeja inside Ikeja to look at the car hanged somewhere, and the rest. So right, so that was the GG pain point. So auto check, Cast 45 on the other hand had the 45 minutes bike, but they also do inspections. The methodology of inspection is interesting. That means even though if I'm bringing my car to Cast 45 to buy, they check my car, inspect my car, give evaluation of the price. They pay me, take my car, and find another buyer. So I as a buyer, I as the owner or as a seller, so now I'm not being wasted. My time is not being wasted because you said my car, no, my car, you value my car. I may be angry about how well you value it, but that's based on the decision, and that's sort of fair. But as a buyer coming on board, I already have an idea that Class 45 has inspected this vehicle for me, and I can buy based on their inspection. I also bring my mechanic for secondary checks. But primarily, the document they provide me, which is from the data they've gotten, is what I will use to hold them ransom if anything goes wrong with the vehicle. Now, no check coming on board can make use of. So checking on the other end, checking main mantra will not be self for dealers. Let's sell your cars to dealers, let's sell it faster to dealers. So they onboarded a whole lot of dealers. Auto check coming on ground. These are major competitors in the market. You can't just come in from nowhere and say you want to enter. It took checking 10 years to get to the point whereby they had dealers. Oh my God. Sorry. So it took checking 10 years to have this dealer client base or database, and where is AutoCheck coming from? So if AutoCheck is going to move, it needs to lean on someone's shoulders so that it can fly, right? So what they did was to buy a robot checking. So now they have the wealth of dealers database, and maybe patch dealers, then they can turn all over all those spots and turn AutoCheck, which is awesome, helping the marketing challenge and for penetration. But they still have a major competitor, which was Class 45 and GG. So now at this point of product validation, the PM will have told them, if you go to that field without buying a company, without buying Castle or checking, the GG won't sell at that point in time, because GG does not even see his force at that point in time. GG say, I don't care about the dealer's business. Let dealer and customer just do what they want to do. Let dealer sell and subscribe on my website. So if they are gone to the field without a PM telling them, if you go in there, you are dead. Then the product will have been dead on arrival. Right. At the same time, they were thinking, okay, we could use inspection of the car with the dealer client base, and say, okay, dealers, we're interested in your car on our website. Give us a particular commission for the resources made, resources inputted, and customers, now your pay point is being set to come in, buy car from us. But at the same time, dealers were supplying customers, website winning customers, and was not making money. So the next thing is to say, should we kill this product? Oh no, we're going to kill this product. We can also find another pay point of customers. And truthfully, it wasn't gossiping because they just imagined and made an idea. It's gossiping because they kept on keeping in touch with customers. So you could hear a customer saying, I like that you were expecting my cars, but the dealer told me that you handed your money. That means I am spending more money, and that's more expensive. You're making this transparent, but it's expensive to me. So I bought from the dealer, but I couldn't come back to you. And you could feel like, okay, so what better thing do you think we should do for you? If I can buy a car on loan by a duration of 2 years, they're doing that in the US. It's better. So this is because customer feedback we're giving. We're able to realize that there is a market for car financing and car loan, right? And that's the way they key into that market. And it's underwater, the muddy water on the road, because the banks are into this car financing business, but they don't do locally, they don't do foreign use vehicles or local use vehicles, they do brand new vehicles. So that means they are here for HNI clients. So to key into them with enough problems. So now you see how a product manager is important in the initial stage to launch of a product, even after launching a product. Product manager is there until a customer throughout the situation life, throughout the life cycle of a product. But even more important, until the business is having its feet. So once they have the feet, then the PM can now spread out and start having different roles to play, which is to make more product feature, to create more, to help more users, to understand more user pain points and for every aspect of your life as a product manager, interaction with the customers, which are internal and external customers, that's your colleagues or colleagues in other departments, and the business customers are important. Interaction they are important. At the same time, interaction with the engineering teams is important. They want to understand what their pain point is. The customer said this. What do you think to do? They tell you, I have a better ideology or there's a better tool to use. This is almost creating it in-house. We can outsource this and make use of this. So interaction with everybody is important. Understanding your communication skills are highly important. Be able to communicate to people, be able to listen to people, be able to get feedback from them is important. So assumption mapping will help, which we have this slide. So assumption mapping will help you to understand if your product is valid or not. There are processes to this and there are methods to this. So the process is to map out user needs. You can map out user needs through the assumption mapping, and you can understand understand the customer's needs through the assumption statement, right? So at the same time, understanding the target market and market dynamics, testing products with real users. Not okay to just map out what you think customer needs. Not okay to just do a computer analysis and try to see what market is saying and think about how to penetrate the market. But the most important thing is that you want to understand you want to see your interaction of post users or real users with your product, and that is highly important. So product validation steps. So the steps to this process, the steps to accelerating this process is customer validation. So using real users in validating a data product helps in understanding user customer behavior and towards project. So we had a makeup class yesterday, which was a little bit more like on assumption mapping. We used Uber as an example, and whether we're making our assumption mapping into our conference, we start having interaction with an interactive class, and we could see how it was needed to use 1 to 5 people to test the Uber idea. Then after testing, and you're like, okay, this is variable. You want to design a demo or a app demo, because what Uber was meant to be. Let's go back a little bit. Uber is meant to be a mobile app. So Uber is a mobile app. So then you want to create a mobile app after testing the transition cab by telling your friends, I'll pick you to your dinner, or I'll pick you to the beach, I'll pick you on Sunday after church, I'll pick you to church. I just wanted to test being driven. How do you feel? Then the next step would be to create a demo, and then you have them order for a ride on this demo. I want to see on this mock, I want to see how it works. But and at this point in time, you want to understand where your customers are coming into. You created awareness by making them test the product. You want to find the user segment. You want to see their reactions to. You want to see their reactions to your products. You want to see their reactions to. You want to see if they will adopt to it, and you want to see if they can react, how they react, behave to it. So imagine if then Uber was an idea. People that the opportunity to know about it will be saying their friend like, oh, I can't wait for you to see something. So that came to the meeting, to the party yesterday with a driver, and his name fly. To have a car. Once this put out how to make our cars, make our drivers, and to drive me in and everything. And these people did them with cabs at more, whereby the jump was take 2 t-shirts, wear another t-shirt, get to follow more, just go packed up, and then take a cab straight to any offices they are going on the island or at Ikoyi. And then when they drop in, you might not even know the cab man they use. You just think they only use the common cabs that have those lines. They use some cabs then pitch wherever they want to pitch and get back, and everybody just feel like they are rich because they have to dress or look top. So there are tools to do this thing, which is a buyer persona. Over time, when we're going to our product strategy, product plan, and when we go to product plan completely, we'll talk more about the personas. Yes, so talk more about the personas. Then there's a value proposition called Canvas. This helps in identifying user segmentation. We don't customers experience and product experience, other product experience and customer experience. We don't think on user segmentation, and we want that user pain points and everyone. So you know how to segment your users according to lifestyle. So we explain more. Why we an example of Uber, we explain more on the Uber focus or people focus. People focus at the beginning of Uber were urban cities. And main reason why, because we are going to need to get to the airport early, and maybe other uses for like lifestyle influences. So this will help you understand your value proposition of and segment according to your lifestyle, income, earning, and wants. Then, so now one of the things we are doing today is the user interview and survey frequency. So them on getting that is on getting data or feedback for people to gather an in-depth knowledge about them, also to gather an in-depth knowledge about the products. So the next one you want to do is to identify early adapters and possible influencers. You want to use the market research. So this one helps you to create a feedback on the market penetration, and it may focus on the competitive landscape and best competition method to reach the target audience. So while we're going through the assessment mapping yesterday, we also had, while we're talking there, we could see that because the PM already understand, I've already created a product vision. We've done 2 classes before. A product vision, you understand the business vision. Now that you are going through the data collections and going through the assumption and the product validation process, you begin to have an insight into marketing, and you want to make sure that the product information or communication being let out there is right. So for instance, when Autocheck realized that car financing was the business for them, like if they are not into car financing, then DG is not going to help them out. And the dealers will just run them down. They just waste money on resources and take out that money without getting the revenue back. And I told you, the main goal for a product is to make profits. Main goal for a business is to make profits. Main goal of a product is to create solutions. To make solutions, or make goal of a product or a business is to create profit. So no matter how technical you become, you want to know, you want to make profits. That's the underlying goal. So at a point, the marketing team were saying things like, "Oh, come to your CAC and your salary account and you get a loan." It's not okay to say, buy now, pay later, terms and conditions applied. That information is up. When you see such ads, you don't even care because terms and conditions apply for me that I wasted my time going through your process and not qualifying for that loan. Whereas you can just inform me in bits. You can just inform me clear and concise. So even while you're trying to lure people into your bed, please log. It's more important to log quality, call them quality leads into your website. So at least because not just about the larger your lead, it's going to be awkward when your lead is more at the funnel seat. And by the time they get down the funnel, time will convert one into sales. So what you use, you wasted money in marketing without converting to a revenue. So now at the point of attention mapping or you need to see what to tell the customer. So one of it is the government policy said that 5% of your salary and amount, 5% of a salary and money should be used to service loan. That's 1/3 of the salary. Some people put that at 3.3%. That means that if a salary earns 150,000 naira, a salary earner, an income earner, or an employee earns 150,000 naira divided by 5%. Sorry, 150,000 times 5%. That would be like 2,500. That means every month, the amount they can use to service their loan per month is 2,500. If I'm giving this person a loan on a duration or a tenure of 2 years, that's 24 months, then I can only give this person 1.2 million naira, 60,000. What car do you want to buy for 1.2 million naira, 60,000 naira? And mind you, my profit, my interest rate is there. So it's more or less that 260,000 naira will be your interest. 1 million naira will be the loan, the asset, and the applicable loan to the customer. They said if the customer is buying, what car can the customer buy that is following you in Nigeria, that 1 million naira will be enough. So even though the customer is buying a car that is 3 million naira, which is an under 2008, or a Toyota Corolla 2006. So if a customer is buying those two vehicles, you also want to put quality around 8 limits. So a car that is now for is not going to be available in next 2 years, which is going to be 2024. And you want to be sure that down for vehicle don't come in scrap, don't understand market value. It creates so many other policies will be involved, right? And just cut short the story. And you might end up saying, if you are using a 2004 vehicle, you are getting 2004 vehicle, I can't give you a loan more than a year. Let me know that my money is guaranteed and sure for that 1 year. So all the stories now, the marketing team needs to put this out publicly. Apparently, if a car is 3 million naira, plus every other thing that gives guarantee to financing partners to bring out their money, which includes the maintenance culture, insurance culture, registration culture, and documentation culture, which means they have the document in hand. All of this will make the vehicle feel like 3.8 million naira. So say the customer is bringing in 2.8 million naira to me as down payment, then I most likely will not give that person a loan. And if I have 2.8 million naira for a car that is 3 million naira just car value, why can't I pay the dealer and tell the dealer that I negotiate my 200,000 naira off and take the car off? So do you see that this person won't be able to access loan? And do I also realize that 60,000 naira is the minimum salary and a minimum amount a salary earner can earn or can have monthly to access loan? It will be very, very awkward for marketing team to start saying salary and all of it come. 10,000 naira will come. Hospital now feel like they are bam bam. They want to come and collect car. Please, how would I give them loans? And that would be a whole lot of process pain points to the customer. So all of this will help you to understand what is the right information to get to give out there for your customers to be okay. So at the same time, while you are doing market research, you want to know what your competitors are. I mentioned about GT, Class 45, Checky, and auto check is coming on board. So what should we do in here? So the next one, from this thing, you have tools to analyze your competitor, which helps you to uncover existing competitors, understand their intensity and map. What most people do is they try to buy from a competitor just to see their product, go through their process and understand what they do. So at any point of auto check financing product, somebody came in to buy the product and I heard the person, but I was the marketplace executive then. So this person, I knew from onset, this person was trying to get to the root of the financing. And his loan happened in 24 hours. So he was wondering how come. How come? Because he has come before as like he wanted to buy directly. He has paid for inspection because he knows about the inspection products. So he has seen a car he wanted from the website, went to the dealer store to inspect the car physically. He paid for the inspection report. So the inspection was done, apart from the website listing. So he got the inspection. He just came up and said, okay, I heard you guys are doing financing. And I heard you guys said you can get it to 24 to 48 hours. If it was possible. Yeah, it's possible. So, okay, I want to get you tomorrow morning by 9 o'clock. And he said to me, oh, he's talking about 8 o'clock. I had to go to another department and make sure I did all what they want to do and send to them. So by 11 o'clock, he was he transferred half of his equity contribution to me. And there was everybody was ready to work at midnight. So by 8 o'clock, he was transferring the remaining money. And by 10 o'clock, I was telling him that the vehicle was bought. I said that I can pick up his vehicle by 3 o'clock, but documents will not be complete. He came into the office by 5. I was waiting for the vehicle, and the vehicle was there already. So he was then asking, he kept on asking, what was this thing? Why did I get the loan disbursed in 24 hours? I knew from onset he wanted to test the process. By that point in time, the secret was just a secret. It was in between us. So I'm just telling what we're doing that caused this loan to be. The help loan at 24 hours. So at 24 hours. So this are what helps you to understand your competitors and help you to create that to adapt the product to something else or to help yours. At the same time, you have a channel research which helps you to decide on what medium or what's the best medium to meet the audience. You can be wondering that I'm not a product marketing manager, so why am I concerned about it? But this is at the stage of ideation, even before the product is being launched, because you've gone through customer feedback and all. You know where the customers are, you know the right way to meet them. So if you're using a waist trainer, yeah, having a trainer company, you want to create a website or want to do those things. Where will you get your customer from? You think you get your customer from you can get your customer from TV ads, but maybe you get more of the housewives and less of the real ladies you wanted or the slave mamas you wanted. And most of them have more time to browse through Instagram. So why not just find influencers on Instagram? So all of these are just what you want. At the same time, you want to make sure your product is a brand. And when they see blue and yellow, they know auto check. When they see green and blue, they know KodeCamp. But when they see a K and a C somewhere that has a K blue and a C blue green, just know this is KodeCamp. So you want to be able to create that. And if for a product like KodeCamp, you want to system where when people go online to just people go online to type in KODE. You want to make sure that you want to know the keywords that will come out, and you want to be able to align everything. Your product this keyword on this. Your product can be at the high of your audience. So there are concept testing, which is actually the physical. This is testing your product with real users, right? With real users. So we talked about that with using the Uber example, with using your family members on call with some cars, drive them out and all. These are examples of what to do. So for concept testing, there are tools like validation to have a goal so I can measure your key objectives. So I can measure your process alongside. So if I'm using 5 people, what is my goal? Is my goal to get their behavior? I will know that by my second test could be done with them. But my third test will not be done with them because I want another group of people. But if I use the people on the island to test Uber, I would like to use people on the mainland, an area like Yaba or Keja, to test their behavioral reactions to it. At the same time, you want to create a landing page. So landing page is important. So that's when, so at the point whereby, okay, whereby you've done the first test of Uber using people, your family and friends to go through Uber, and you can create a demo. So now when you realize that, okay, this product is variable, we want to make it, we want to make the product terrible. At the beginning of assumption, we've talked about the three key important of assumption, which is um reliability, desirability, and visibility. So you don't variable step parts. You felt that, okay, this product is a deal, people like this product. Then you want to do the desirability part. At that point, you then invite the engineers to invite them, but it doesn't want a big thing. So now at this point of Uber has said, what is Uber? A solution to their problem. Problem is Uber, that the product. Then what is Uber? Uber is a mobile app. Then at that point in time, to be unrealistic for Uber to create uber.com or uber.ag and make it a app. Because you want to create on-demand transport with ease for customers. That means that means you are using necessary tools available such as Android. And most people use Android phone than they use iOS. So it will be understandable that I don't need an iOS developer. And DevOps at that point in time. I don't need an Android developer at that point in time. To get in an Android developer, use an application and send out. At that point in time, I don't even need the website. So where should you put your application? Google Play Store. You can put that there as a version 101, 100. And by the time the product goes live or it's being launched, people, the beta users and everything will go back to Play Store, look for Uber and download. You can download the updated version and thereabouts. So you need to create a landing page whereby these customers that tested your product. We definitely talk about your product to other people. So then they start talking about products to other people. You want to be able to refer them to somewhere, and you won't lose customers, or you won't lose your penetration. So at the same time, you want to analyze your results. That is by using the data you collected to provide a decision at the end of the day. So you got all this data from people. You've gone through all the concept testing. You've gone through the market research. You've gone through the customer validation. Just because you want to understand the mapping, because you want to understand if what you mapped out as a username is correct, if you have a market for it and you understand the market dynamics. I will tell market dynamics when I explain GG Castles 5 checking, also check coming on board. Then you want to understand what the result is after testing with real users. So all of this we then made you realize if your validation goal was realistic or is feasible. So we have this adoption mapping template that have been given out to us because our grade 3 assignments will be in groups. So from things I saw from PLC, I realized we need to group ourselves to be able to do something. So we'll most likely be doing a user interview or using a software form. You can use a simple one as Google Form. Then we'll also do a association mapping and call and submit a link. We'll see how it goes, but one thing is sure, we're grouping. And grouping will be done by people that submitted their assignment. And it will be done according to the way you submit. So if it means that if you are at least assignment submitter, but unfortunately you submitted late, that means you and the late comers are steady, will be together, and that may draw you behind or whatsoever. So moving on to today's class. If you have a question, you can drop in the chat box, so I'll answer alongside. alongside what we have today. Okay, great. So moving into the next slide, which is customer feedback collation. So from product validation, you want to see that it's important to get this feedback from customers. So we have three major aspects of customer, two major aspects of customer feedback. We have the qualitative and the quantitative. And we have the third one. So I'm not doing an assignment. I'm not doing an assignment. I'm not saying our assignment will be grouped. Okay. I'm not doing an assignment. We're not finished creating ourselves to grade soon. So back to what I'm saying. We have three aspects. We have three aspects: the quantitative and the qualitative. You need to understand that most likely the same techniques you use is slightly different for understanding the customer validation or a product validation. It's almost the same thing you use for a competitive analysis, just a little different. Unlike the customers that might come to you while you go to them and be open, competitors are hard to enter. They want to keep themselves. And that's why I said traditionally the first thing to do when you want to enter a market is to probably just go through their process and start their process first. So customer feedback is interaction with people. Customer feedback is interaction with people to get their opinion or view about a product or service. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, so about the product or service, and actually interacting with your customer, getting their opinions, listening to their thoughts, their feelings, understanding their true behavior and needs, and their true perception to a product you are creating. And it's actually important for product managers or for PMs like us to embrace users and to understand and know their pain points and be able to see how to create helpful or useful solutions. So this has several benefits. It helps you to understand the market trends, and it help you to identify potential user, and at the same time, it will also help you to discover a potential product feature in time. So while we're talking about Uber yesterday, we're like, people can say, I need a feature whereby I can share my ride with my family members just to have more security on ground. At that point of launching, it's not important thing. But over time, when the product begins to grow, you realize how important that is because you have more than one merchant, security drivers, or the riders, and that becomes a feature. Today we use on Uber, right? So when you're talking to customers, they'll give you features that you see that if it's important for you to clear that point in time, or features that you can use later on to integrate and to help out better. Moving on, so there are four steps. The first step for customer feedback collation is creating a clearly defined objective. So like I said, when we're talking about product validation, you want to have a key objective. You want to have something you can measure your growth with. You don't just go in cycles. And that's why I said it's not about just writing about life cycle, introduction, post-camp this and that, then incarnation, post-camp this and that. No. You want PM gives you data. You want to interpret all the old long stories to people in data, and that's why you are editing everybody. You are the bridge that fill the gaps in people life or connect people to one another. So that means you have to make summaries of everything, all the long stuff to people so they can understand what they are saying, and they need to understand clear and concise. You want to tell the engineering team what the product vision is and what the business vision is. You want to tell your product team what the product vision should be and what the vision is. You want to tell the customer service agent and sales what the product vision should be or the product benefits can be. Then you want to sell to the marketing, what product information should be out there. I want to be able to make that information to the customer that this is what the product is all about. So it's very, very important to have a clear objective on this and applying. So it helps you to align the focus of research with potential and what potential customers to engage. But in the insights you get from this discussion will help you to identify improvements, functionality to be added, or creating a solution to address the challenges. Like I said, other challenges to create financing as against going after people in the market already, which is already a lion in the jungle at that point in time on that product. So, and people love brands that listen to them. People want to be listened to. People want to talk. People get their opinion. Don't say what not to do and what to do. Why you try to. So that by creating that in a data form will not make you hear a whole lot of voices. But it's give you an insight to what is out there. And it helps you to it helps put light on your blind spots. So there can be a blind spot, but everybody's talking about this blind spot. But when you interact with customers, it will help you. And then that way you need to understand that your customers in a business might not be just one person. So Gigi felt their customers were just their dealers. I presume because they felt their customers are just their sellers, they don't understand the pay point of customers, of the buyers, right? And so for auto check understand that the dealers is their customer, the buyers is their customer, the banks, the financial partner, they are their customers. So this relationship are so important for the for the for having a wonderful life check of the product. So you all want to collect actionable feedback, realistic feedback to create more product, to lead to more product innovation, or to help with or to help improve your product and product features. So there are two methods to this, or three methods to this. Like I explained earlier on, we have the qualitative method, the quantitative method, and the combined method. Because this method has the actional method, whereby you go on the street and ask somebody, how do you feel about what you're talking about? Somebody said a form on the in my head. So how do you feel about going to the pharmaceutical store? How do you feel about going to the pharmaceutical store in the environment? Someone will say, when I get to the store, I have to queue because everybody wants a medicine. Even the person that won't pass that month that I've gotten from the malam down there want to buy it in a pharmaceutical store. Then it becomes a conversation and everything. That's a whole lot of process for me. I have a good prescription. So why should I be in a pharmaceutical store more than 10 minutes? Can you create me a hub where I can order my order my drugs? If you need validation, want to know that it's true, then I can submit my prescription and I get my drug. I get my drug down to myself. So all of this, you need to understand what customer really wants and how. The quantitative method, we have quantitative method, then we have the quantitative method. The quantitative method is just a little bit of implement to the traditional way, while the combined method is how to get what you want to get, your goal in qualitative and quantitative, you want to have them all together in one and a better feedback. So we have interviews. So like I said, one-on-one interview with customer. To help you get more insights, you need to read people's behavior and action. Be able to see what they want. You need to see how they behave when we have. You need to see. So imagine you are approaching someone and say, "Hi, my name is Esther. What's your name?" Person like, "My name is Titilayo." Okay, hi Titilayo. What do you think about not going to a pharmaceutical store to buy your drugs but ordering online? It's simply like, are you sure? Is it possible? Say, yeah, I have something I can show you. Can you show it to you? And she's like, oh wow. So at least you feel a little bit motivated, like wow. Or she's like, no, I don't tell anything online before they go and spam me and everything. So you need to see their behavior at first. You need to know if they have a approval towards it, or if they have um acceptance towards it. So, but why asking this question? If in case you get the audience, why asking this question? One need to answer the why, or why should I use this product? Who should I meet if I want the product? What does the product do? Where can I find the product? And when the product be out, or when we product? All those questions, and how should I go about using the product? Just use all those W, the who, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5 A, W, and age, to at least get a thoughtful and get responses from your interviewers. Now, imagine me combining, so I'm trying to go into combine method alongside. Imagine me using Google Forms to do this. I don't need to go and meet somebody on the streets. And that's what I say, no, don't have your time. Oh, no, don't have your time. I don't know that I have to share manually. But at least I want you to see the survey, try to take the survey, and try to complete the survey. We just give me all these answers. So I don't need to even think. And with the use of emojis, with something like a mortgage survey, use of emoji, I can even use my emoji to create my feeling and as I want to look like. I can have a passive understanding of how I understand, how I react to it. So, but sometimes interviews might be important, especially when you want to understand the sensitivity of a product to customers. So you might also have a focus group, or a virtual. Okay, sorry, we have to have a virtual research session. The virtual research sessions are ones online, or the chat-based online conversation between your product team and the customers, and they typically occur in real time. So these are chat-based online content between product team and the at this time. So this virtual research session would be, it allow you to develop a rapport with your user and notice the pattern in what the customer requests of. So I think people use a demo day. They do demo day for products where you just keep on chatting like a robot, whereas somebody's behind talking to you, you're asking a question, person is answering, and person is getting, you're creating an empathic view. Most UI UX understanding aspect, just understand what they want, and they're capturing the insights of the customer. You want to create something, empathic something, trying to get the feel of the customer. And so if they have them questions, for every feedback they give to you, you make them a question and chat with them. This can be also created into a chatbot later on, whereby from what you gather from them, you can use it to then integrate the AI on the chatbot. So we also have the in-app community feedback. So if you wonder what is the difference between virtual research sessions and in-app community feedback. The virtual research session is actually with time, and it's like a company saying they are demo day, come experience, then they work for it. I forgot what it is. This is something like I forgot, like maybe a demo day, or they go out to a program, an event, or a conference, take a stand and tell you, come experience our product. So, and while you are done, but because you use the product, you're just interacting with on it. Just interact with these people, whether the product team are behind you, getting your reaction. For every question, for every feedback you give, they make a question to you. You have the question and all. Then they gather all this information to use. So this in-app community gives people the ability to engage online. That one is online, but just because you can't see them. But this is like a chat from anywhere. You don't need to move places. You don't need to go to to a stand or a conference or their demo day to accept that. I think as of December last year, when you go to Keja Mall, Move was doing something like this, and there's this PlayStation upstairs that we're doing something as a virtual research session. But they didn't have a community feedback. You engage online, because once people engage online with a member of your team, right? They receive direct and immediate feedback from customer why they are using your product. So could be your website has an e-hub whereby a customer can come in, can tell a customer after you use the product, let's know how it feels, right? So they visit it probably for a long period of time, and they come back and ask questions. So when you have somebody assigned to that thing to get real-time reports from them. And these questions are when they have questions, these people answer in real time. And when they need an urgent reply, the able to cover what users are thinking, what users are thinking why they are using your product or why they are experiencing your product. So the next one would be the focus groups. So even the quantitative aspect also have this focus group. So when I mentioned about getting some people, like family and friends to test the product first, these are people that are considered okay. I make up classes. If they talk about sharing the idea of people, like sharing with your friends, like what do you think if you're going to go to the streets, get a cab? Then you talk about it, they talk about it, they give them an idea. So I remember when we were doing a capstone, we're talking about an idea on logistics. That does it feel when you go to when you don't have to go to a car park or to look for a truck that can help you carry heavy appliances or your home appliances because you want to move apartments or you want to move area. Why can't you just go online, order a truck with service you can see, and they come to you at an estimated time and take your food alongside. And that means they also have to help with other services or whatever. So you already have a focus who you're talking to. You are trying to input your idea into them. These are not like family, not a lot of set of friends. I'll tell you that don't think about that. So these are people that they know they are serious for business and they are trying to help you out towards your goal. So they help you to, and as a PM, you can always have people around you. And because they have more exposure, or they've gotten some exposure, they may tell you, okay, oh no, don't do that. I remember that man that was trying to do it, but why not just take it this way and give it and you listen to the positive thing. So you begin to see their attitude. Let me see, perceive their attitude, understand their opinion, their belief towards this product and services. This group of people are actually this is better done when it is that means for the focus group. It's better done when it is done on diverse people or done on diverse people so as to get on their heart better. So when I said the first time you use family and friends for Uber traditionally, then they felt like wow, this is a wonderful thing. So I just call you on my phone number and say, are they please bring the phone, bring the car. I said, no, don't worry, we'll get a mobile help where you can order from. Then they tested the order on a mobile house. And they're like, oh, like I love this. I love this. When I bring it out the food. Because they're on the island, they have good roads or majorly good roads. Outer passive, perceived. On the zone that most of them have almost good roads, majorly than the mainland. And they have their cars too. Most of them have their cars and all. They live in an estate that is far to the main road and all. So it was easy for them to accept Uber idea, or it might be easy for them to accept Uber, but they want to go to areas places that are urban, because an urban city. The places that like almost like the highland, but they're not really deep. So places like Yaba area. When I mean Yaba area, I mean Yaba, not Yaba area. Yaba area, the Ikeja area, Magodo Axis, this area, all the Bagada Axis, whereby people can these people have almost the same thing, or they have a almost the same lifestyle with those on the island. Then you get to know them, you get the data from them, you get their belief, their reactions and attitude to things. Then after then you want to use another group of people, probably in the kosher fair. So I'm so sure that if you're doing a test run of Uber, but then you get to kosher fair, you realize that everything you've done, you're starting all over again because those set of people are different. Like they're so different. So most of they are time specific. So if you're coming in by 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, you most likely meet people that are going to work and want to enter environment, enter conditions. And that means 7 to 10, you meet teachers on the road. Most of them are teachers, or teachers on the road, and they don't they, some of them care about how they look. All of them do not care about if it's meat or not. They just want to enter. They may decide to join boss with somebody that's coming from 5 o'clock market of tomato and pepper and still have a pinch of tomato on their skin. This just help me review on how important to have a diverse group to create an unbiased data. And the goal of this discussion is to determine how a larger population will be existing one. So like I said before, the island, the mainland, and the outskirts area, you definitely will have a different reactions to your product, and you need to get this part and know where to then you need to know your focus people. You know where to penetrate market first. That will rub up on when somebody had last class that on Tuesday that Boba is now in rural area, and I realized I told that person because Boba is in the growth stage. But maturity stage, like the growth stage. So because of that, it has rubbed up on the rural area. People are no longer using Uber because they want to get to the airport early. I can use Uber to even influence my lifestyle among mainland people or whatever. Then most likely people that stays in urban areas might have relatives in the rural areas. So this will extend and market begins to grow better. So this is one thing about the focus group and they are interesting. You see some similarities with the quantitative methods also. We also have the customer average board. These are people that you want to take as stakeholders in your product. So the stakeholders in your product, they are most likely people that get gotten from the focus group or from the focus group people that test your they are most likely first testers of your product. So these people will help you test your product according to your growth stage. So at the insurance stage, they don't need the ideation stage. They don't at the insurance stage. They'll come in once in a while to get more. For banks like they call them mystery shoppers. That they come in to interact with people and get a feedback back. So and this is the customer membership board. These are assisting customers who share observation and insight with company periodically. They come, they check a product. If you run better, like, oh yeah, I like this product. Now last time I came, the product was like that. Okay, now it's better. So these are people that helps you out. And some of them are people at level executive at the other organization so that they have more strategic guidance on this product or they have more larger view. They are more exposed to sort of the broader industry trends, but they don't talk about industry trends. So they bring in to tell you how what the industry trends could be, how to help out and everything. So one thing that is coming out a trend in marketing strategy today in the growth at the growth stage of companies is what they call the direct sales agents. Banks are using it. Instead of them to use the it's an off page from marketers. And you just share people at marketers and tell them sign my form, go and sign to customers and onboard customers. Later on, it became something we call networking. If you bring 10 customers to my company, I'll give you, and they fill a form. Once they make, I'll give 1% of their month they deposited that month, right? So everybody begins to do networking. Right? The more you get people to do this, 10 more people, you get 0% of their person. Anyway, so another time, people are just out of the networking. The DSA, as it is called, is the combination of those marketing people, marketing area plus this networking commission, and more it needs to be more compound. So you still have to make money, but you understand that you need to grow your own network, not just by just being from your own space of network is what you get. So this is just something that let you know. They let you know. And funny enough, the ideas that come out from this set of people will help you inform your roadmap, your product roadmap, and help you understand what to prioritize, what next, and what to build next, what to build next, what feature to bring out next. This set of people are they are important. They are exposed. They experience your product for real. Yeah, people on their own levels, and they have more broader view to do. So you can also attest that probably somebody from when I went to UK or US saying, also check, why not try people loan, like credit cards in Lagos, in UK and everything. I can come and give you the loan. I remember I handled a client when I was a marketplace person that was based in US. And we were just talking about how if I just use his credit card to buy the car, it's for his dad, but we simply agreed to pay together. And I was like, oh my god, if we have cracked finance at that point in December 2020, we would have just sold finance to that first person, right? That later on, there was a financing that at that point in time I was working as a financing officer. So at that point, I sold the financing product to somebody that lives and works in UK. I remember one of the management asked me, how were you able to sell this product to the person? And I replied, person work with a big company in the US, not in the UK, in the US. So where is the person running to? I have the ID card, I have the everything. I realized the person works in this company, and this company has been in place over 50 years. So but easy to just convert his money. He has a Nigerian account. I just believe that based on the companies working with, I can, if I drag this more online, it's a letter without the thing. So these are things that helps with exposure, and it comes up to tell you, okay, if this was a problem or a limitation that is solved somehow in this country or in this industry or in this business, so integrate it with yours and make a better product understanding. So the next one will be it's all about the interview, virtual research session, the research session, the inner community feedback, the focus group, and the customer advocacy board. The next one we're going to the quantitative. Let's see the word quantitative method. So now these are ways to do interviews for people. Why not just make your questions specific and create a poll? So we still use polls. We have to start poll that come out more often. We have Instagram story polls. We have the poll engines like those. Okay. So we started just to the poll and make a specific question, and customer will react. And this will help you to understand the behavior of the customer. This is my slide. So it will help you to get the behavior of the customer and be able to validate what customer segment is towards it. Like now, so code can be done in the evening. Let's do a poll like that. I'll do that poll on the group. So should code can be taken in the evening? People will give a reaction, yes or no, maybe, what's best. And people will tell you, you can even use emotions to react. You can tell you yes or no. They tell you no, go, so right. And you can also use this to vote. So it helps with the voting power and so. So with the result you get from a poll data will help you validate the assumptions you already have or answer specific questions you already have. Right? So like it's actually a consider of specific question followed by a few multiple choice answers, and the poll data can validate an assumption or give a glimpse to how different group of people feel about a particular feature, service, or product. So we also have behavior testing. Yeah. So evidence this is used to identify changes in a web page or determine the increase in an outcome of interest. And A/B testing can be used to get in-depth insight during beta testing of the product after its introduction. So like what I said, oh, you want to do second stage of interview, second of test, which is once you use for the first traditional test with Uber idea. Second one, we are using a demo page, which is now a landing page for them. Tested with that product, so you already know that this is the product you want. So that's you create that first version of your app, Uber app, and they gave you a feedback on it. Some people are like, well, why not just do a website? Okay, so maybe a mistake, use a website instead of a mobile app. We're saying, why not use a website? Use a website and they ask them to log in. So by the time, then, like now that Google Chrome is helping us during the time of programming. But you have to load the app before you start loading. And when you click on a feature, to load that feature before you finally see your answer. You think me, I will spend my time to go onto that Uber. I'll use your website like that and it's running. And by the time you get on that web page, probably make a mobile app, which is easier for me. You just see people just start the web page and start using the mobile app. So this A and B testing is what you use to understand the increase in an outcome of interest. It could be as simple as a change in a feature, and it could be as simple as they maybe identify pages, but you want to wonder why, if you have to that one variable that was changed, or words or images that were used, or layers of aesthetics around it. So this result that I get from this case will give you the insight into which the message and insight people can use. So now with A/B testing, you can take the result or you get from that and know how to tailor design thing to do something desirable, back for your product. So this is help you to make better decisions about what appeals to customers and what creates a reaction quickly in them. The next one we have is the analytics. What does that marketer understand is important of this? Facebook page, Instagram views and everything has helped you create. I will help create this one better. Two like Survey Monkey, which is now connective, also have this inbuilt now because the product is now a little bit is now interesting. Right? This is called product. So for this one, we are using product analytics, but it actually track user behavior. For Instagram views, make you know how many people view. If you have a business page on Instagram, you see how many people view, how many people see, what post was your most engagement or most engagement or the most engaging posts on the why you used, right? So it helps you track the path which customers take. But for product analytics, it helps to track the product user behavior. So today they like a post and maybe it has 10,000 likes on a particular post. Whereas on a post you were thinking you spend more time creating, you had 1,000 likes or 5 likes on it, then this is customer behavior. So that means they found something more interesting and more engaging than the other one. For product managers, we have what you call a product analysis. That means you understand which way your product is going. So I part of auto check we're doing direct sales, product was not going. So you can see that you're making like maybe they're making 5 car sales in a month for direct sales. Whereas they are making 1,500 financing cars in a month. And the pipeline for finance sales, so people that are coming onto the website and HRM is pulling data from, saying that more people are interested in your financing product than they are interested in buying the car outright. So those who will tell you that I have a dealer I've been working with for the past 10 years, so why should I go to AutoCheck and buy a car when I can call my dealer and say, Zan, name car for me. I want Pedro. I want Pristine. And Uzan will make sure that he gets, because he knows that probably buying for a relative or whatever. I just want to change my ride. I know that maybe next 3 months I might try to buy another one, etc. Then he'll bring it to my house. So I should like to check for the receipt. And I can just, when days come to my house, I can just ask my mechanic to come home and check the car. The mechanic said, okay. And woman knows that he's getting his money. Then he goes. So it's not as if I'm stressed on getting a car. So why should I use auto check? So these are specific customers, right? Why some customers want to use auto check because they are first time buying a car, they have no idea about cars, and they want to trust someone to get them a better car. This kind of customer will be very, very painful if they bought the wrong product at that point in time. So the product analytics helps you to track your user behavior majorly. Help you pull data as for PMs that make you understand the part which your customer takes and how they are using your products. So, and specifically, it helps you look across data, physical data, aggregate data, and set or break information down to individual users. They don't make you know how well your users understand you better. So if we create a for somebody that uses IG for engagement, you create a product or a content that speaks more, and users also find that funny. They like and like, but the returns on that page engagement is not so. You know that okay, it meets their what they like, or it meets your goal, which is to convert sales. So which is to convert sales, right? Then the other half is a page whereby you have only 5 likes. From that post, you're having like 33 sales. And you know that okay, there's something you have done here that created sales. The exam is more informative and more detailed, but it's not really engaging. So even though they saw it and something they like and bought, you want to know what to do to combine the hilarious one with the one that converts sales so I can make more traction and so. So people that don't have patience or patience for seriousness might not buy your product. When anybody that wants to have some little help their a little bit of time of their ethic and get it, then you have more sales. So by then you're looking at necessarily like 100 sales from a post to make. So this is what helps you as a PM. That is just for content creators, but this is what helps as a PM to understand what to do and how to create more information for your users to understand better. So now the next one will go with the combined method. As I said, combined method is actually the combination of both the qualitative and the quantitative method. And we have the first one, which is survey. So survey is so you can say at this point in time, missing poll and an interview together. Missing poll and interview together. So at this point, I can see that combined interview. Not going to the street to talk somebody, and I want to ask specific questions, which is the poll, to understand their pathway. I'm using that as a survey, right? So now I can just create everything in a survey, send to people, and they will answer. So if you know, don't need to survey, answer a survey question. You see, find out a way to choose A, B, you can vote, you can do anything. So use a survey to somebody now mentioned the interview and a poll. Although in this one, we still use them differently, but these are merged into what they call a survey. So survey gives the customer feedback using an online form. It helps to capture assumption to fact about a customer or a product or a product. So it's also a way to it's actually very cheap. It's cheap. It's very scalable and help you capture feedback on variety of topics. It doesn't have to be a specific poll. It can be various questions to customers. And also help you. It also helps the PM. So while you have asked a why question, the customer will be like, what do you mean by that? One will like, quite all the answers and move forward. So instead of getting open to a particular person, right? And it also helps you to form your assumption to facts and help you that prove or support your hypothesis. Also help you understand what your customer understand about your product. So make you understand the customer understanding about the product, right? And the next one we'll go into is idea spotters. Is idea spotter. So we have an idea spotter. We have an idea spotter. The idea spotter is a web-based interface that enables your customer to submit their suggestions to the product. Okay, yeah. So it might include a voting feature too. So now, when you go to a website and something's speaking up that, what do you think about our product? Or especially Jumia, after like 3 to 7 days, or 1 week later, just say, when you are going to the website, just come up and say, how can we serve it better? I don't think I don't have that. So this is Alibaba. That. How can we serve it better? If I come to my mail, I'm going through my mail, I'm just saying, how can I serve it better? And said a linkage from Alibaba coming to my mail, I bring my mail to them. So then you can say, oh, better, or better. Then Objective will say, how satisfied are you about the product you bought last week? Then they give you an emotion to use. You write bad, then on everything. For my HMO, after consultation with the doctor, you have a like, when your doctor, okay, what do you think the doctor can do best? You have to hit and make a feedback. You give a feedback with this. Okay, so this also helps people to communicate directly to you and submit their feedback realistically. It helps to capture ideas in one place and help you crowdsource feedback. If you identify trends, if you analyze value of each idea, and so like I said, it might include a voting capacity that participants can vote, still vote and on ideas submitted by others. So yeah, so there's some page you go to and you see that was this useful? Yes or no? Google use that for their Google help. Was this useful? Yes or no? Did it help you? No or yes. So you have that. So actually it gives everybody a voice and let them talk. It is right to carry on what matters most to users. Right. So explore reviews. So this could be for reviews too. When you make a review, somebody's visiting a review, you can ask the next user, what is useful? What is helpful? And what do you feel about this review? Like Google Play Store has a lot of that. Okay. So that's what we do is customer facing team. So this customer facing team their feedback you want to get from in-house users because they've interacted well with customers, right? So example of them are the customer support team. They interacted closely with users, they've answered so many questions, they've helped through so many issues, and they have so many backlogs they still have, they don't have an answer to. And they may tell you what features to create, what things needed to be done to create a better process in business. So that the sales team, they face and face to face, they come face to face with the customer. They understand, they've heard customer feedback at all. It would be a waste if you waste that resources, if you overlook that resources, because they may even have more customers talking to them in their pains. Some have shared things with them in their joy. So, like a salesperson, okay, customer like, all the continues. Last time I bought a variable from you, it like 1 week, was done, or whatever. So and the sales team like, not my boss, sorry. It's just people. So, but now you're talking to them, they'll tell you what they are feeling or how embarrassed they've been about your product for sales, or how interesting customers have been about your product and what they think you can do better about it. These are people that are very, very important, and you need a cross-functional communication from them to maximize insights. Like as product managers, we have to tap into this knowledge, and you can even shadow help their calls. You can even help them by actually their support tickets. And that's one thing. So PMs is not just about, oh, I'm a tech person, so because of that, even though I'm working remotely or whatever, I don't have to talk to anybody. I just want to on my table and work and work. They want to have interviews, discussion with team members, experience what they feel like. They're working on the CRM and up a whole lot because I want to know how the customer agents work. I never had an idea about CRM, but I want to know how they work, how it's complicated. So I was able to go to the website, click on apply for something, like for a car, it drops into CRM, I check where is it right now. Just like I said, I'm giving 30 minutes of your time. I want to use your product. I want to go through your environment, to explain what you're doing. But then you go through that, you yourself as a PM, because you understand a lot of features and then push it, realize that all these things that they are going back and forth. I can just make a picture and I click everything to this somewhere. So you need to have that. You need to have that interaction with them. You need to create We need to make use of them to have more better insight on what to use. You can answer that support tickets. You can shadow their efforts. You can attend to a discovery calls and every other thing that they do. If you won't join a salesperson to go to see a customer, just understand the key point of a customer because they get more realistic talk than feedbacks. Now when you're doing survey, customer may try to be nice. Then because maybe after they are paid, they're just nice. But at the point of their pain, they have somebody that they have reached out to, list on or create some rant on list. That's quite important. So this is to tell you that PMs, your relationship with everybody on your team is important. It's vital to your success. Then so we have a customer facing team. So customer facing team, I've worked with that. And the next one will be so this is for you to understand if true what you are written down that is the solution of your product. If it has made that net benefit because the element benefits or the expectation of the customer or that net customer needs and present a good solution to them. And this is the way we want to by this can be really gotten when a customer has used your product, then you create realistic solutions for them and you list a task for the customer to make it up. So most times you are use that for maybe happy customers. After their financial pain point was taken away or solved, their financial pain point was solved, their products, their productive paper was solved, they just get into your tax. If you try this and you try this task, you're gonna make tax by assuming they came to you, they have you for something, what will you do? Using this product, so they can tell you as the product. I understand this product feature, and it can also be used. Can also use usability testing to put more information to customer. Right, like usability testing was what they use in that AI, that Amazon Go had everybody using it and getting to know. And if you check on our channel, if you check this video, you can see that each customer has different needs. So the one that had a need to buy something and realize you don't need it again, so to stop it. So now she has done it that I can see her behavior to it. The one that was unsure that what she dropped as in money that was deducted from her account was sent back. Then the one that will remember that after going and not checking, I remember that you see the product and will come back and come back to the product. The one that wants more product than what their credit card to carry. So those problems are there. So you are using this to observe your product managers and others will be observing these users and taking notes on what it is. You can have like three users and put them on the spot, tell them to do some tasks on the product. It could also be because you are trying to introduce a new product or an existing product, or you're trying to adapt to a product and they understand. The purpose of this usability testing is to observe how customers actually interact with your products, right? How they interact, they hide their product, the realistic of your product, and the product. So therefore, the 5 problem areas within your offering: export, design, features, and that need to be changed, and capture metrics such as tax completion rates. So, and all these insights will help you. All the insights will help you out to understand what is good. So yeah, customer, like I said, so in conclusion, customer feedback determines the usability of the product, validation of the product, marketability of the product, the penetration of the product, the life cycle of the product, and give clear understanding on all products or all customer behavior. You can say how important it is to understand your customer segment so well. But at every time you want to put that knowledge into your hand to use them better. So there are common customer feedback relations tools out there, a lot of software out there to use. I'm going to leave this for you to do a lot of research on them. We have the Google form. Google form is simple to use. to assignments. We'll be using Google Form for material assignments. We have Typeform, we have Ultra, we have user brain, we have user reports, we have moment if this is survey monkey before, we have the sprinkling, we have the rebel, we have the group, we have the canny, we have the intercom. This each of these social tools have their different uniqueness. Some of them have emotion ability and some feature whereby a customer can use emotion to reply. Some of them, some have some colors you want to use, and so a lot of varieties and different things. And different goals, like your objective is important. If you don't have an objective, it's important. You have to have a strategy, or you should create a good. So if you get a good customer, to get a good customer feedback, you have to have a strategy. So when you have your objective, you have your strategy. It's make you understand what exactly your customer wants. As you have created a classwork or what in like a customer, it to be of great joy if we all can go back and do a lot of research on the food and see what is there. So we want, like I keep saying, PM's curiosity should be your name. It's so curious. In fact, if while you're growing up, you hear people say you're so curious, you just want to know what is happening. Like at this point in time, you just know that that's true. That's still like what make you a certified PM at this point in time. So if you don't like research, make research your best friend. You can start little by little. The same way you want to know why they are dragging somebody on Twitter. That's research. That's the same way you should start making try to know what's happening and everything. So let's take a little bit of questions. You have a question here or there. Raise up your hand. Let's take questions. Let's have questions. We have 6 more minutes to go. Please can you raise up your hand and let's have a question. There are questions. There are questions. No question. Okay, so the answer to the question, let me just run through something I have here. I don't want to share my screen on it. So let's assume so you don't ask questions. Let's assume you're asking somebody that has a car, want to make a car complaint or question. So you can ask questions like, what led you to buy? So people have been dropping, people from this UI UX, they've been dropping some great techniques on random channel. Please go and check what they are doing. So you can know what to do better. So what led you to buy product in the first place? So you can ask somebody, what make you come on to KodeCamp in the first place? What I think your assignment already have that. Yes, already have that. You say that into your Google form. So why we will recommend us to others? Why or why not? On a scale of 1 to 10, what scale will you put us? Will you be able to recommend 10 out? Yes or no? Okay, talk to me through what happened last time and talk to me through your process or your workflow. What else? So that's the internal person. Talk me through your workflow. Talk me through what happened last time. Talk me through how interactive this picture was to you. What is the most frustrating thing about this? And what do you feel is the current solution? What's the future you would like to see? And everything. So what do you wish you could do with the product or with the tags of the future? And what can you do with it today? Then how would your day job be different if you had this? Where does solving this problem fall on your priority list? By the time we're trying to create something on CRM, and just had the conversation with the customer service team, and they're like, no, don't do that. So even though we feel like just being a solution to them, we just need at the point that this one, they're not ready for it. So there'll be a waste of time in that full of future for people that are not ready for it. And truthfully, why but then they don't understand why they don't want it. So a good idea from our own end, but it was a bad idea to them, and it was not going to be helpful for them. So you see why. So even when you're creating a product feature for internal customers, you want to talk to them and understand where they need it from. So in the aspect of none, I would say thank you for attending today's class. Let's meet in our channel, talk more, have more. So I didn't raise up your hand. Do you have something to say, Feoluwa? Okay. So do have a wonderful day, class, and let's meet next week. Next week we'll be talking about product packaging, and analysis. So we mentioned a little bit of analysis today. Let's talk more about that and see more about that. So you can prepare ahead of class, bring in your questions, and let's have an interactive class. Then I want to say, please engage people on your channel. DM them, why are you not in class? Why are you not in class? Imagine people not coming to class and we're having a lot of food, having assignments. So talk to your people and let's see. You have a nice day and have a nice rest. Bye bye.